This video is spoiler free. Oh, yeah, of course, we are eventually going to talk spoilers. So we will keep you up before we get to them. Man, I'm standing on a corner like at 9 o'clock this morning. Blind guy's waiting. So I asked him, would you like some help across? He said, no, thanks. Let's see. ROOKIE. I know SHIT about this CITY, and I'm trying to solve an MURDER, maybe. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and we're talking about today something I am really, really excited to be talking about today. We're talking about Ultra City Smiths, the new show from creator Steve Conrad. And if you're wondering why that makes me excited, it's because these people have made two of my favorite shows that no one talks about. The first one is Patriot on Amazon Prime, at 2 seasons, and Perpetual Grace Limited, which you can watch on Epix, yeah. And Patriot and both these shows just did not get enough attention from people, and I didn't watch it right away either, especially Patriot. I was right on top of it with Perpetual Grace. But they're back with a new show called Ultra City Smiths on AMC, and look, this is a better streaming service. Prime should have been where it got hit. I don't know anybody who doesn't watch Patriot and tell me how great it is and they can't believe they've never heard of it and all this other shit. Especially when, and if you're not convinced by like the production company and the people who are making it and you don't know those people, well, the casts that they get are people that you should know. And each show that they get, they keep getting not just their old people back that work with them, but a bunch of new people too. And when you get a lot of really talented people to keep coming to your work, I think of it like how people just want to always work with Tarantino. Not everyone, but a lot. And I feel like this group of people that make these shows really attract a lot of talent and people that understand what good television is. Like really good television and really original stuff and really unique writing and ideas. And they hit it again here with Ultra City Smiths. A story where you have it's a stop motion show. So, but it's not Robot fucking Chicken, okay? Robot Chicken's fine. It's hilarious, blah, blah, blah. But this is, they use like baby dolls. And then they just put different outfits on them depending on what character they want to use. And it's telling like a neo-noir city story, kind of like Sin City, New York, dark, I mean, it says it right there in the title. She don't care. Ultra City, she don't care. It's kind of a mantra in this. Also, nobody's dreams come true here in Ultra City. And one of the coolest things about this is that I stopped really paying attention to the gimmick, to the idea of the animation. I got engrossed in the story so quickly that I stopped paying attention that these are dolls, that this is stop motion. And when you can do that, when you can get people to be that hard, commit that hard to the story, that's really great. Because I think that the dolls and all the animation and all the hard work that takes, I mean, must have been working on this, because Perpetual Grace has been done for, I want to say, a couple of years now. And at least it feels like that. And the kind of work that goes into this, it's very demanding. I mean, anybody who knows like The Nightmare Before Christmas, right? The nightmare story behind that, like if you paid attention to the production of that, how long it takes just to do a minute of animation in something like that. And so they do all this work and then they make this really great story and it pops up here on your screen for like 20 minutes at a time and it's over. And all I wanted was more after the first 2 episodes were done. Now, I really like what they did. But again, it was the story and the characters that got me really hooked. And it's just a really interesting concept. Again, and it's telling a lot of different little stories here. But this cast, you know me, I love to talk about me some casts. Because they've nailed it again. They've gotten another fantastic cast. First, I'm going to talk about the people that are in a lot of their stuff. Perpetual Grace and Patriot. They have returning from those shows. You got Jimmy Simpson. You got Kurtwood Smith. You got Terry O'Quinn. My man Terry O'Quinn, man. If anybody knows me at all, Terry O'Quinn is like my favorite. I think Terry O'Quinn is my favorite actor. When all is said and done, I just love Terry O'Quinn like hard. And I'm talking all the way back, man. All the way back. I go back to Stepfather. I go back to X-Files. I go back to Millennium. I talk, Lost, of course, But like the guy is just one of the best actors around, and I'm always there whenever he makes something. Not just that, but like Jimmy Simpson, Kurtwood Smith. He's the reason why I watched that '70s show. I loved Kurtwood Smith in that, and he's a veteran of these shows. Who else is from the other ones? Chris Conrad, of course. Chris Conrad, the guy who... Let me tell you something. Chris Conrad is an actor who is not afraid to put himself out there literally on these shows. And I know he's going to be in the new James Gunn series, Peacemaker. That's like a prequel to the Suicide Squad movie. This guy is really cool, and not just as an actor. He's a guy that you can really relate to, and I for a skosh of time there, anybody who knows my channel knows that we all have our up and downs on YouTube, and there's been some moments in my YouTube career where I've had a lot of difficulties, and he was one of those people who just kind of reached out and just kind of helped me get out of my own head at times. And it was just, it's not like I don't keep in touch with him or anything, but it was just nice to when somebody, reaches out to you and lets you know you're not alone out there. And I really appreciate that. And so he's not just a really good actor, he's a pretty decent dude. And so I just want to say that. Sorry. I'm name dropping, but I don't, like I said, I don't know him or anything. It's nice when this kind of stuff happens. Luis Guzman also returns. Damon Harriman also returns. He was on Perpetual Grace, and I didn't know nothing about Damon Harriman back then. Now he's everywhere. He is literally everywhere. Even though most of his part, like almost all of his Charles Manson part, got cut out of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's also in that incredible FX show called Mr. In Between. But he's in a lot of stuff, and I didn't know who he was back then, but I know who he is now. Hannah Mae Lee, also from Perpetual Grace, is back in this. And Deborah Winger, who was in Patriot, also is in this. Now, there's my phone making noise. Nice. Make sure to turn the volume down. Someone I don't know. Divine Joy Randolph, who's been in stuff like The United States of Billie Holiday, the High Fidelity series. Oh gosh, I had the Last of Us. This Is Us. I'm not familiar with her work. I'm not, and I will have to remedy that. But also we have John C. Reilly is in this. Tom Waits is the narrator. If your narrator is Tom Waits, you've already won over the cool people, right? You've already gained so many cool points when you hear Tom Waits' voice coming out of there. Tim Heidecker is perfectly cast in this. Bebe Neuwirth, man, from Cheers, is in this. Tim Meadows, Melissa Villaseñor, if I'm saying it right. Villaseñor? I can't do it. I'm terrible with names. But from SNL, she's on here. Kristen Bell from The Good Place. And her husband, Dax Shepard's also in this. Jason Mantzoukas, Aaliyah Shawkat from Arrested Development. This cast, seriously, I rattled off all these names, but can you really appreciate the talent that is in this little stop motion show? It means people believe in this, and you should too, because it's not hard to get through. The first episode's only 25 minutes, the second one's only 20. They're all going to be about this, and I think there's only 6 episodes, so it's not like it's a hard commitment. Now, it would be an easy binge. I'm glad it's not binging. I'm so glad that this is a week-to-week thing. I hate binging now, for the most part, unless it's something I just absolutely can't live without. But I like being able to follow this story slowly. Another cool thing I like is our main character, played by Jimmy Simpson, is named David Mills. Now, if you guys have that little thing pop up in the back of your head going, David Mills, where do I know that name? Well, it's because that's the same name as Brad Pitt's character in the movie Seven. It popped in my brain immediately that in this dark, gritty city story of, dolls and back alley dealings and dirty shit going on. It's a perfect character name, and I don't know if that was an homage to Brad Pitt's character in Seven, but I really liked it. So, to get into the story proper, without spoiling anything, because we're going to spoil some stuff, but the story basically is, and there's several things going on. There is the story of the police station baby, a baby that was left behind a police station in a box 30 years ago, and there's a mystery surrounding the identity of this baby and who the mother is. They haven't even told us, I believe, who the baby is yet. Like, that's also a mystery right now. Now, the main mystery is revolving around a man named Carpenter K. Smith, who's the most powerful man in Ultra City. And he goes out for a pack of cigarettes and vanishes. Carpenter K. Smith is voiced by Kurtwood Smith. And over the course of this series, something happens, like, in the disappearance of this character that has 8 suspects involved. And they all happen to have the last name Smith. So there's that mystery going on. There's also the story of Rodrigo, played by Louise Guzman, who had a courier played by Aaliyah Shawkat. Her character is Little Grace. She was supposed to drop off some money and pick up some drugs. She was running an errand. Well, she is betrayed by Rodrigo's own guys, and they take the money, and now Rodrigo wants to blame her for the loss of the money. And that's just the basic setup. Those are the 3 stories. That's not really spoilers. That's just, here we are. This is the jumping off point. So I'm not going to say anything more about that. But all 3 stories all have kind of a connection to everything else. The music's really good. There are musical numbers in each episode. And everybody that knows me as well going into this knows that I'm not big on musicals unless they're funny. And the songs in here are pretty funny. And as you can tell by my main titles here, my own main titles, I liked singing it. I don't know what the title of the song is called. I like to think that it's what did I write down? The Rookie Song. It's probably called the Rookie Song, but I wouldn't mind if it was called Rim Job Knock. Quotations, really into limes. So there's the spoiler-free part of this. All these characters live in this horrible place, a la Sin City, a la New York, and nothing seems to work out for anybody that lives here. This city had a mayor who was promising to make the place a gentler place. He goes missing, and now everything is kind of up in the air for everyone that lives in this place. And it's really, really, you're really downtrodden in this place. And they never let you forget that Ultra City does not care. She don't care. This city does not care. So we're going to talk spoilers from here on out. If you want my recommendation, as you can tell, I loved it so far. I can't wait to get further into it. So we're going to talk about spoilers now. And so I'm going to do a little quick pause. So after 14:20, you can consider this spoilers from here on out. All right, so we're going to be also talking about both episodes 1 and 2, spoilers, talking about that. They also, this is their second episode title. Another cool thing about these guys is they really like to make title cards for their shows. And they always do a really fun, interesting way to do it. Perpetual Graces were particularly really awesome. And again, go back and watch those shows. Patriot on Amazon Prime's got 2 seasons. Perpetual Grace has got 1 on Epix. And look, get the Epix free trial and watch the damn thing and then cancel it if you don't want it anymore. I'm looking forward to, I don't know if they ever released Patriot or Perpetual Grace on Blu-ray, but I should have looked into that. I should be looking into that because I would love to own those. So anyway, talking about this story, it's called The Greatest Story Ever Told by Tom Waits. And what you have, like, is this mayoral candidacy going on. Now, Carpenter K. Smith is, like, I believe the current mayor of the town. And, you know, he's the guy who's tipping his hat in a big sign. Meanwhile, you have Tim Heidecker's Kevin D. Maximum, who his sign is flipping you off. So it's pretty easy to see. There's one was good and one is bad. Or are they? See, we don't really know much about Carpenter K. Smith. We know that he's a very powerful man. We know that he promised a gentler city, so it seems like he's all right. But he's got all these kids all over town, all of them Smiths, and they all now are suspects in his murder. At the end of the first episode, we know that he gets shot. We don't know by who. And we know that later on, the TMZ reporter played by Mantzoukas finds him and leads the cops now having to find out what happened to him his last night on Earth. And one of the things I really like about this is they just speed things up, all right? They do the DNA swabs, and they're like, wow, you did that already? Yes. Why? Because we need to move the plot along, and it really doesn't matter in a story like this. We're not shooting 45-minute long episodes live action with a bunch of regular actors. We can jump ahead. We can just hit the ground running. We can give us the information we need right away because there's a lot of story to tell and not tons of time to do it. And does anybody really care? Does anybody really care that if the DNA swabs? No, we wanted to get to the point, the mystery of what's happened to Carpenter K. Smith. And now we need to know who killed him. And there are 8 suspects, and they all range in very different, groups. You've got Terrence Smith, Donovan Smith, Sissy Smith, Paula Smith, Bernie Smith, Donnella Smith, and Brittany Smith. Now, Terrence Smith is the prostitute played by Damon Harriman, who is just delightfully pathetic in this, but also just sad. He's a sad guy. He gives back scratches. he used to get the women's attention. Then it was and men's, and then not women so much, and then not men either, and neither for a long time. And it's just, he's a really sad character, really down on his luck, not very intelligent. Wasn't raised, was raised kind of dumb and poor from Mississippi, and he can't even spell it. You got Donovan Smith, Sissy Smith. Donnella Smith is the soon-to-be ex-wife of the congressman played by Dax Shepard, who is in his own little, has his own problems because he can't stop taking pictures of his dick. And Gail Smith, the partner of David Mills, is also one of Carpenter Smith's daughters. You've also got the actress that's involved with the police station baby, played by Deborah Winger. You've got the nun that's runs the flop house in this. You've got Bernice, who is Andrea the Giant, the wrestler, played by Baby Newworth, who was forced to take a dive by her wrestling, whoever does that, the promoters and everything. She was primed to continue her success as the pro wrestler, like the heavyweight champion, and is told to take a dive, which blew up her chances to help her daughter with money. And So all these people are potentially murder suspects. But to me, I feel like none of these people are. It's because they're all potentially heirs to this guy's fortune. And Carpenter stopped his limo in front of every single one of them and had a conversation with them in the back of his limo. So the real mystery really isn't which one of them killed him, more like what did he say to him, is what I would say, because it's pretty clear that Tim Heidecker's was setting all this up, the Maximum character, because he told the police, Captain Krieger, played by Terry O'Quinn, to stay out of the park, limit your presence there, and that's where Carpenter was killed. Now Rodrigo, played by Luis Guzman, who wants his drugs and his drug money back, he's also interesting because he wants out of here too. He just doesn't understand that his own men betrayed him yet. Now, what he keeps threatening people, for if they don't get his money. I'm not quite sure how much I believe this character, because how badly he wants out of things. I think he might be all huff and no puff. I don't know why I just said that. But David Mills and Gail Smith are pretty interesting cop characters. David Mills has a little son at home and a lot of problems, and he's really prepared for every situation. This character sings and dances in the park. He dances his demons away. I love that whole scene where he explains why he dances. He basically to wear himself out so that by the time he gets home, all he can probably do is take care of his son and not do coke, also drink coke, and also eat a shitload of limes. But he's also always prepared. We have the scene when Damon Harriman's, was it Terrence? Terrence robs Deborah Winger's character of her purse, comes around the corner, and he doesn't have pants because he had to rent them. And when the rental of his pants ran out, he's been trying to make money to get pants. And David has an extra pair of pants on for just such an occasion. Same as when they go to meet the disco Donovan Smith, played by John C. Reilly, who he won't stop dancing. So David tells Gail, I've been preparing for this my whole life. I've been dancing since I was a child just in case this might happen. All these little things that just bring a smile to my face. All these tiny little touches that are so much what I expect from the group making this show. We don't get to see too much of everybody. I think that this is a perfect show for people and their schedules so that people can come and go. The parts can be big or small depending on what's going on. Plus, with COVID going on, this is a pretty interesting way to do things. Is you don't have to be there to record your performances probably. I'm trying to think of, there's also a song in the second episode about from the disco Donovan Smith, sung by John C. Reilly, which is also really funny. And yeah, I really don't want to say too much more. I've gone on, and you know how it always is with me. Whenever I'm talking about something new, I'm a little all over the place, and I think that once we get into next week and I can just focus mainly on the show and not everything around, like the making of it and how it's a new show and all the history and all that, next week we'll be able to hit these episodes a little bit easier. Plus, I think if they're week to week, they're only 20 minutes or so at a time, it'll be a lot easier to discuss these. But I just really wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about something made from these guys, and it makes me so happy to see really good television made by people that obviously love what they do and want to do something different with things, and more power to them. Before this was announced, I was getting worried that, I was like, man, come on, like, I hope these guys get back out there and make some more, really good television. I really want them to catch a really good break here. All right, I want everybody that watches my channel to check this show out and recommend it to people, and then watch Patriot and watch Perpetual Grace, okay? Because everybody can tell you to watch Breaking Bad, and everybody can tell you to watch The Wire. I'm telling you to watch some smaller, littler known stuff that once you watch it, you will be hooked like I am. You really, really will. They are fantastic people and really friendly. And so anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. If, like some weird masochist, you watched all the way to the end and hated every single thing I said, well, we can help you with that too by giving you a little adjustment here. We will give you about the last 26 minutes or so of your life back. So those of you who did like this, please subscribe, like, all that stuff. Those of you who didn't, look straight at the camera and we will give you a better memory. And here is the memory I choose to give you. Have a great night, everybody. See you next time.
Got the name wrong or something.
Hodgkins, what's to get wrong?
What did you say?
Huh? Wait a minute. Who am I here?
Jerry.
Jerry. Jerry Blake. Thank you, honey.